Let's take a look at one of the next drills in our freestyle series. So in this drill here, what we're going to do is have our athlete perform a one-arm freestyle. This is a great drill to kind of put together some of the big things that we've been talking about with the freestyle, and maybe if your swimmer is struggling in certain areas with certain aspects, maybe like rotation, or getting that reach, setting that catch in that rotated position. This is just a kind of a great isolation drill that you can do here. So let's talk about some of the key points and some of the things that we look for in this drill and throughout its progression. Here, as always, we'll start out with our kick. We like here the toes being in this very extended position. Our fins here force us to be into that position, so we really like that. The kick here can be somewhat moderate just to kind of help the flow of the kick for our athletes, so that way we're just going to be moving forward here. What we look for is just what we would say is a natural bend in the knee. We don't want to have excessive bend. So what do we mean by excessive bend? If the knee would come out like this, and then we would basically between the surface and the point of the start of the kick here, if we had that, we're going to be kicking a lot of air here. Kicking air doesn't really help us move. Underwater, if we're kicking very much under the legs or kind of under the body, we're not going to really be moving the water. It'll be really hard to bring those feet be up here. As we were just kind of saying about, we'd like to see the feet return and stay up at the surface when we're doing the kick. So we kind of give our swimmers cues to think about having white water, thunder kick, or for younger kids, boiling water. All those cues basically mean the same thing. We want to keep everything to be up here at the surface. Kicking under the body on the down kick is something that we look for. So right here, we really like our athletes to finish that kick being under the body and then returning the feet to be up here then to the surface. Non-stroking arm here is going to stay at the side, and we're going to be having our athletes start out here with the snorkel. So that way we are just going to be really potentially working on some of those isolation areas without having to focus on the breath. Even while the arm here is at the side, we want to make sure that we are getting that just appropriate level of rotation right there. The other side then we're going to make sure is going downward. And then what we want to feel is the pull underwater. Here we're popped. The other side then here is downward. We're going to take a stroke. We want to make sure that we continue to promote that long, wide stroke. It's kind of butterfly-esque. It's like a very, very soft landing. And then what we want to see is the hand here land right in front of the shoulder and then have that extension. If you're having younger age groupers do this drill, on that landing position, we're going to want to see the body stay flat through here. Our athlete, and something that we emphasize with our older athletes, is just going to be this creation of a bow wave right there as we're moving through the water. So this is something that we promote. It's not necessarily going to be for everybody, but this is something that we really like to see our athletes have. And then we're just going to continue that same thing. We want to see that head just continue to stay steady and the body traveling along this great straight line as we are then moving through the water. So we switch here to an underwater view. What we're looking for is just the feet being in a very pointed position, which we have right there on both sides. And then what we want to see the kick is, so here we're kind of kicking right near the body level. We could actually kick a little bit deeper here under the body and then focus the return up. We'll get a little more power then out of each kick as we will be traveling through the water. So we're going to go here then on our return view. What again we want to see is just the hips and shoulders here popped. Beautiful job. Other side here is down. We've got some good movement here of our legs with our kick. And then opposite side here is up. Then the other side here then is down. And we're just going to then land. Okay, so here a little bit inside the shoulders. So the way you kind of want to think about this is kind of like there's going to be like a little bit of a range. So kind of see this right here. We would look for our athletes to kind of be somewhere in between there. Here we are a little bit outside. So what this will do is kind of cause some sort of outsweep to happen underwater on the catch. Well, then we'll take a look at that here shortly. So we would want to make sure that we promote and see there's that driftage right there. It's a little subtle, but we can see it right there. This is where we would want to keep that landing position to be, so that way we can get into the catch right away as then that hand extends. And remember, every athlete's going to be able to perform drills to various ability levels. Sometimes it'll take some just a couple of practices, some might take a little bit longer, and that's again okay. So let's take a look at right here. Okay, so at this point here, hands open, we want to get then the fingertips to get down. There we go, there. And ultimately we do end up in a good spot right here. We got that power triangle created as we're moving through the water. We just want to watch that we get that consistency. So on this entry, it's better as we move. Yeah, so that side's better. So just at times we can kind of sometimes see our athletes be just a little bit inconsistent. So it's really important to promote that consistency and just that continual feedback to our athletes as they're performing their strokes. Overall here, if you found some great value out of this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe.